Alhambra is one of Spain's major tourist attractions, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and the inspiration for countless songs and stories. In this video, you will discover why the Alhambra is regarded as one of the most magnificent palace complexes in the world, and the finest example of Moorish architecture in Spain. The name Alhambra comes from an Arabic word meaning red castle, likely due to the color of its towers and walls. The vast palace compound developed gradually through additions and modifications made during both the Muslim and Christian periods. It all started with a small fortress built in the 9th century on the remains of Roman fortifications. Most of the structures we see today were built during the Nasrid dynasty, which ruled the Emirate of Granada for over 2 centuries. Initially, a military fortification was established on the highest part of the hill to defend the zone. In the mid-13th century, the Nasrids used the ruins of the old fortress to build a palace and the surrounding walls. A century later, with the addition of several buildings and gardens, the site was converted into a Moorish royal palace. After the conclusion of the Christian Reconquista in 1492, the location became the royal court of Ferdinand and Isabella. Christopher Columbus received royal endorsement for his expedition here. The most significant extension during the Christian period was the palace commissioned by Emperor Charles V in 1527. Conceived in a contemporary Renaissance style, the building was designed by Pedro Machuca, an architect who had trained under Michelangelo in Rome. During the Peninsular War of 1810 to 1812, Napoleon's army occupied Granada and used the Alhambra as a fortified position, causing significant damage to the monument. Upon evacuating the city, they attempted to dynamite the whole complex to prevent it from being reused as a fortified position. Only the brave actions of Spanish soldier José Garcia, who disabled most of the fuses, saved the historic structure. After falling into disrepair for centuries, Alhambra was rediscovered by European romantic travelers, poets and writers at the beginning of the 19th century. The most influential was Washington Irving, whose tales of the Alhambra brought international attention to the site. It became a national property in 1868 following the Glorious Revolution and was declared a national monument in 1870. Alhambra is now a popular tourist destination. Research, archaeological investigations and restoration works have also remained ongoing. The entire Alhambra complex covers an area of over 142,000 square meters. It comprises a number of earlier and later Moorish palaces, as well as Christian-era developments enclosed by a fortified wall. The Alcazaba is the oldest part of the site. Located in the highest area, it was the centerpiece of a system of fortifications that protected the territory. The royal complex built during the Nasrid dynasty includes three main palaces: the Meksuar, the Comares Palace, and the Palace of the Lions. The Meksuar consisted of two consecutive courtyards followed by the main hall, where the Sultan received and judged petitions. Little remains of the two courtyards, and many parts of the palace were significantly modified in the Christian period. The Comares Palace was the core of a large palace complex, initiated in the early 13th century to serve as the official palace of the Sultan and the state. The Palace of the Lions is one of the most famous palaces in Islamic architecture and exemplifies the apogee of Moorish design. The palace breaks away from the usual architectural layout, bringing new aesthetic and formal concepts. Palacio del Generalife, with terraced gardens and fountains, was the palace used by the Islamic monarchs as a summer resting place. A lush orchard filled with exotic plants and greenery, known as the Garden of Paradise, adorns this splendid palace. Although never completed, the Palace of Charles V is a fine example of the High Renaissance style. The construction of this monumental palace in the heart of the Nasrid-built Alhambra symbolized Charles V's imperial status and the triumph of Christianity over Islam. The Gate of Justice serves as the main southern entrance to the Alhambra, while the Gate of the Seven Floors holds significant ceremonial importance. The Alhambra is situated in a place of rare natural beauty. Surrounded by mountains and rivers, Arabic poets compared Granada to a crown, with the jewel of the Alhambra standing out. Another distinct feature is the dense wood of English elms brought there in 1812 by the Duke of Wellington during the Peninsular War. Often described as a pearl set in emeralds, Alhambra is one of the most famous monuments of the Islamic world. It is a remarkable example of how history, art and culture can come together to create something unforgettable, a place that continues to captivate and inspire visitors from around the world.